Yeah, the move. Whatever hand you hit, you move to that side. Left hook, boom! You gotta think of throwing punches. Your job is to throw punches.
A dog with sheep, it will become a sheep.
Anthony Joshua is reportedly training with Mike Tyson as he gets ready for his fight against Jake Paul. Joshua has been studying old-school techniques used by Tyson's trainers to sharpen his skills. Right now, he's focusing on strategy, speed, and power. His training camp is centered on smart planning and strong conditioning to make sure he's fully prepared and in top form for the challenge ahead.
In the gym, coming forward, punching to the body with his heart.
Anthony Joshua has said that Mike Tyson inspired him, especially Tyson's power and discipline. AJ has now added specific neck and shoulder exercises to his training following Tyson's methods. He says these drills help increase strength, stability, and punching power, showing how learning from past legends can directly influence his own training style.
Exercise I got from Mike Tyson. A lot of wrestlers do this. Quite dangerous actually. Physios don't like this type of stuff, but it's good for neck conditioning. It's called neck bridges. And it's flexibility and strength at the same time. So it's a really good exercise if you...
Tyson gave advice to Anthony Joshua, calling him an amazing fighter. Tyson said that staying active and fighting regularly is the best way to improve. He explained that being in the ring often helps sharpen skills, boost confidence, and keep a fighter performing at their best.
You give to somebody like AJ?
That he has a lot of talent and not to get discouraged. He only loses when he quits. When you quit, all the doors of opportunities close. You know what I mean? You have to be game, and then don't get discouraged if you lose. Listen, you just lost. You may have got $30 million. I just think the more time you lay off, the worse you get. You have to fight to be the best. You have to do.
Anthony Joshua is training hard in camp and has started using parts of Mike Tyson's style. He's doing special neck rolls and strength exercises to build power and toughness, while also focusing on conditioning, speed, and technique. These workouts are meant to improve his punching power, agility, and endurance. It shows that AJ is fully committed to sharpening his skills and dominating in the ring.
Bro, my physio's looking at me like, what the fuck? I can see you looking at me like, fuck, please don't fuck you. Hey, if it goes, at least you're here anyway. You know, 43,000 tuned in. Oh, mate. I know I started this shit.
Mate, just trying to set up the physio table, put the flats on it.
Anything.
Get back up there.
I'm easy, boss.
Eat.
Showtime sent me a lovely picture of me.
Eddie Hearn has made it very clear that he believes Anthony Joshua would beat Jake Paul if they ever fought. He explains that even though Jake Paul isn't viewed as a top-level boxer or a major name in traditional boxing, people shouldn't assume Joshua would win without effort. Hearn points out that Joshua has beaten strong opponents before, including Francis Ngannou, who is an elite fighter. This comparison shows that Joshua's victories come from real skill, serious training, and discipline, not from fighting weak or unprepared opponents. Hearn adds that Joshua trains extremely hard and has the right mix of power, technique, and strategy to dominate fighters at all levels.
Paul Anthony Joshua 50-50 fight, what do you make of that?
Yeah, I just said in another interview, great if it is. I mean, if it is, then you've got no problem seeing it. But when AJ, I mean, decapitate's a strong word, but you know, when he renders Jake Paul unconscious like he did to Francis Ngannou, don't then say, oh well, it was Jake Paul. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when AJ beat Francis Ngannou, Ngannou just had a fight that could have gone either way with Tyson Fury. Then AJ poleaxed him and everyone just said he's just an MMA fighter. Do you know what I mean? Jake Paul's not Francis Ngannou. But as I said before, if you want to see Jake Paul exit the boxing world...
Nigel Benn shares his concerns about how entertainment-focused fights are affecting professional boxing. boxing. He believes that when celebrities or social media stars step into the ring, it creates an unfair situation for traditional boxers who spend their whole lives training and competing at a high level. Ben explains that real fighters often earn modest pay, while crossover events, which attract huge audiences and go viral online, offer massive payouts to people with far less experience or skill. He argues that these spectacle fights can hurt the sport because they take attention and financial rewards away from professional boxers who have dedicated years to mastering their craft.
Bit of rumours around today, Anthony Joshua and
Oh
Jake.
no! I'm not even really entertaining that. It's just not. Being a two-time heavyweight champion of the world, it's I don't know, YouTubers. I'm not really into all them influencers coming in there, and there's like some boxers that really work their butt off, don't get paid like what these guys are getting. And Anthony Joshua being a former world champion should be fighting like someone in the top 5, top 10. So I ain't really got much time to talk about that. Not
Do you think it's
interested really.
bad for boxing?
Well, not bad for boxing. If people want to pay to watch it, then who am I? I'm just giving you my opinion. Who's not worked his way through the ranks to earn that shot at the former world champion? No, not at all.
Australian boxing. Who are you a fan of? Obviously got good fighters out there.
Jai's my type of fighter. He's very spiteful, and it's just another level, really. I don't think there's no better cruiserweight around.
Oladipo focuses on the financial side of the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight. He says it would be unwise for Joshua to turn down such a massive payday, which could reach around $100 million. For a fighter with Joshua's experience and skill, the challenge Jake Paul presents is small compared to the reward, making it a low-risk, high-reward situation. Oladipo explains that opportunities like this are rare in boxing, even for top champions, so taking the deal is a smart career decision. Believes Joshua is in a position where he can earn huge money while facing a relatively manageable risk, considering Jake Paul's limited experience as a professional boxer.
Someone knocks on your door and says, "Do you want to fight Jake Paul for $100 million?" You're like, you'd be stupid to say no. No, I don't want that $100 million for what would be and will be and should be easy work for AJ. Like, well, why are you going to turn down $100 million? AJ should and could, should knock out Jake Paul in a round. Like, if Jake Paul was over here fighting under our British Boxing Board of Control, I don't think it would be a Southern Area cruiserweight champion. AJ is a former unified heavyweight champion of the world that I still believe is a top 10 heavyweight in the world. Like, AJ should be able to destroy him. AJ is going to be 60 pounds or so bigger than him. AJ hits like a truck. AJ is a better boxer. Like, this is a...
Many boxing fans are openly criticizing the idea of Anthony Joshua fighting Jake Paul. They believe this matchup is a major insult to professional boxing because it pairs a seasoned heavyweight champion with a social media personality who has very little traditional boxing experience. Fans also worry that by taking this fight, Joshua might miss the chance to finally face Tyson Fury, a far more serious and meaningful opponent. To these critics, the fight seems more about money than real competition or the sport's history. Social media and boxing forums are full of frustration, with many fans calling the matchup a mismatch and questioning whether Joshua's legacy could be damaged by taking part in such an event.
Anthony Joshua gets in the ring with YouTuber Jake Paul, and that's what he is, YouTuber Jake Paul. Would you watch it? Simon, before we take some calls, with this seemingly in the pipeline, can we safely say goodbye to Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury?
Well, I think it's done anyway, judging by the mood music that seems to be coming out from various camps. If you listen to Tyson Fury, he seems to be, despite the fact we've danced this dance before and walked this walk before, he seems to be talking in a very different way. There's no hyperbole. It's, I'm done. This is a younger man's game. I've done my bit. I'm at peace with where I am in life. I don't need boxing anymore. But not in the flash for cash way that Tyson often does it. In a more earnest way is my understanding of his sort of thought processes. So with that in mind, it almost feels that that's off the table anyway. Who knows? The draw of the enormous amounts of money that this one fight can generate, This is the one fight that can really get everybody paid. I mean, the two protagonists. Whatever Usyk takes, tragically for him, he wouldn't even get anywhere near as much money as potentially being offered for the Fury-Joshua fight.
What would earn AJ more of a pay packet? Fighting Fury or fighting Jake Paul?
Well, I would think tragically fighting Jake Paul.
God, what is that?
Because the revenues, because it's a Gen Z TikTok generation that wants to watch sport in a certain way.
Yeah,
and that's nothing critical of them. It's just the way that it is. And that's the circumstances of social media and the platforms that people like Jake Paul are able to cross over. It's not a case of people in the mainstream should be dinosaurs. The digital world and those opportunities and those platforms are marvelous places. And you know, you heard me talking about Mark Goldbridge the other day and the commercial deal that he did with the Bundesliga. And we can be sniffy about their level of content, or we can accept that there is a place for everybody. It's interesting that still the digital world, and that's...
Analysts point out that Jake Paul's decision to fight Anthony Joshua is a huge step up compared to his past opponents. Unlike the older or retired fighters Paul has faced before, Joshua is an active, top-level professional who regularly competes against elite opponents. Because of this, Paul now has to change his training strategy and mindset. He can't depend on fighting someone past their prime or inexperienced anymore. Analysts say that even though Paul is still the underdog, this matchup is a more realistic test of his abilities. It gives him a real chance to show how much he has grown and improved as a boxer.
He'd be even bigger than the Mike Tyson fight. It's hard to say really. Tyson was a big name, but it's going to do numbers regardless, because Joshua is a big name, and then people are going to be tuning in to see Jake Paul get knocked out. Right now, Eddie Hearn talks about Jake Paul taking this Joshua fight.
I mean, my estimations of Jake Paul would go through the roof if he signed to fight Anthony Joshua, because I just can't believe in my mind that he would do something like that. I mean, Gervonta was a smart one because of his size. Like, you know, I think actually he would have had a lot of success against Jake Paul, but the size is a problem. But this would just be, you know, like if Jake Paul was to take the fight with AJ, you'd really have to maybe carry his balls in a wheelbarrow on the ring walk, you know, because AJ wouldn't mess around in there, you know. So it would be huge, but nothing, you know, to tell you it's close. Just a few conversations so far.
Damn right, if Jake Paul takes this fight, he's got some major balls on him. And I know people hate influencer boxing, but come on, he's not fighting an old, retired, past the prime MMA fighter. No, he's fighting a legit boxer who's massive, 6'5", 6'6", jacked, 240, 250 pounds, shredded, power puncher. Do we need to remind ourselves of what Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? Francis Ngannou was coming off a pretty good performance over Tyson Fury. He didn't get the win in that fight, but you could argue that he did actually win that fight. And Ngannou, throughout his entire MMA career, in 4-ounce gloves, very rarely got hit. He could take a punch. He's got a big, fat African head. Big, thick neck, traps, back. He just can't really be hit. And look what Joshua...
Shane McGuigan has doubts about whether the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul fight will actually happen. He calls the idea unrealistic and questions how the fight could even be organized. McGuigan says that even though there is a lot of public interest and media hype, many things could stop the fight, such as contract issues, promotional problems, and the physical or reputational risks involved. He also mentions that from a sporting point of view, the matchup might not make sense for Joshua if he wants to maintain his competitive credibility. McGuigan's comments represent the concerns of many people in the boxing world who worry that entertainment and money are being placed above real, meaningful competition.
Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul reports. What do you make of it? And if we were to see AJ step in with Jake Paul?
I said it yesterday, I'll say it again, I think it's fast. I don't see how it's going to materialise. I didn't think the Tank fight would materialise, and it didn't. And you know, it's all good saying that you're going to box somebody, and then, you know, but until literally they're on the ring walk and in the ring, and I'm not going to believe it.
Away from AJ, what do you make of the Devin Haney and Brian Norman Jr. fight next week?
It's an interesting fight. Haney's up at 147. He looks good. He looks physically good. It's mad to think he's only 26 years of age. Confident-wise, I don't know what that Garcia fight took out of him. You know, because yes, he tested positive afterwards, but I believe that his Achilles heel is punch resistance, and I think, you know, it'll be interesting. I don't know enough about Norman, but I think definitely test him, and maybe Devin Haney will hold a better shot now. He's up at 147. But yeah, it's an exciting matchup. I think it's a.
Analysts say that opinions about Jake Paul in the boxing world are starting to change. While he was once seen only as a celebrity or social media star, he's now beginning to earn some recognition as a real boxer because he's taking on tougher opponents. This shift has affected how fans, trainers, and commentators view him, leading to a new level of respect for his effort and progress. Analysts note that this doesn't mean Paul is anywhere near the level of elite fighters like Anthony Joshua, but it does show that he's taking steps toward becoming more credible in the sport.
The one that I was mostly from you was the Anderson Silva one. Where Anderson Silva had like one sick round where he's like, whoop, whoop, doing it what Anderson Silva does and missing everything and cracks him and whatever. And then he just like the next few rounds, he's back to like just getting his butt kicked by Jake Paul and walking around, doesn't look the same.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think these guys are actually getting dropped to like faking. I think Jake Paul actually has that kind of power. I just feel like they kind of know the deal.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna fight. We're gonna fight. I make a lot of money. You make a lot of money, not as much money as me, but you make more money than you ever would. So you take it. It is what it is. But I don't know. Kind of sucks to see all these legends, right? Like of the sport. Like you don't want to see that. You don't want to see this guy is losing to freaking Jake Paul.
I will say I loved everything about the Tyson fight in the lead up, and then as I'm actually watching it, I'm like, all right, this is actually fucked up. My bad.
Yeah, it's like senior.
Even when he turns around on.
People are starting to take Jake Paul more seriously, recognizing that he trains hard, studies real boxing techniques, and is willing to take on difficult opponents. This shift is important for his career because being seen as a serious fighter can help him secure tougher opponents and bigger fights in the future. Analysts say that although he is still learning, the fact that he's being taken more seriously is a major change. It marks a turning point in how crossover fighters are viewed within the boxing world.
Probably know some other stuff like
how much Anthony Joshua made.
Is he in debt? Does he have to do? They know these.
There's an outside motivation to want to do it. Yeah.
And then that's probably why guys like Tyson or whatever would like, well, yeah, I need to pay some bills. Let's do it.
It also gets their name back out there, like in a big way.
And it has to be a big enough name that people are interested at all. Yeah.
And I think at this point, Jake Paul is taken a little more seriously than before. Like if it was the first fight, I think it's a lot different. But then at this point, I think it's more like, oh yeah, it's a thing. It's an exhibition. It's
a model.
Yeah. This has got to be big money because even Anthony Joshua's last fight that he lost, he reportedly earned about 25 million pounds. And when he fought Francis Ngannou in March, he approximately made $50 million.
Wow.
So like rumor mill has it so that Jake Paul is set to potentially Jake Paul might earn $92 million.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned, and I'll see you next time.